Hi there, I'm Rod Bergeron, and welcome back to another quick and easy watercolor painting. I'm going to paint, I'm going to wet sort of the top 2/3 of this page, and I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to put it into my blue, and I'm going to make a couple of streaks across there like that. And I thought today we would do some extraction, and all that means is we're going to take a piece of paper towel and we're just going to do a few streaks like that into that wet paint across there and just allow it to do its own thing. Don't worry too much about it. Just let it all mix together however it is it's going to mix together. Okay, just a couple of quick, you can see how that's already started to fill in. This one's starting to fill in. I'm going to take my 3/4 inch flat brush here, and I'm putting it into this Payne's gray wash that I have here, and we're going to put some pine trees in here. So we're going to use this brush in a very vertical fashion, and we're just going to touch this onto here in a few places. Okay, so you can see how that's a little bit drier because of where I've touched it. Okay, but we're just going to let this start to all blend together in there. And we're not going to do too much more than that with it right now. We're going to put some Payne's gray across here and maybe pick it up a little bit more intensely, put it across there. All right, so again, we're just going to let this all bleed together. I'm not going to rinse this out. I'm going to touch it to my Payne's gray again, and I'm going to come back here and I'm just going to put in a few more pine trees, okay, right into that wet area that we already have on there. And we're just going to let that all bleed together. I'm going to take this brush, I'm going to touch it into some of this that I have across here already. You can see how that's starting to give us some really nice bleeds going on in there. Okay, so rinse this out and grab up some sienna. Okay, I have a little patch of sienna here, and I'm just going to put that across there and let that all bleed together, whatever it's going to do. Okay, I'm going to pick this up a little bit more intensely, and I'm just going to put a little bit of sienna in here, and again, just let it all bleed together. Don't worry about what's happening to it too much right now. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my sienna, pick it up as intensely as I can. I'm going to put it into a few places like that, and I'm going to go to my #1 watercolor brush that I've sharpened the one end of, and I'm going to put some foliage in here like this, just some quick expressive lines to allude to where some foliage might be across there. See those bleeds that are going on in there? That's pretty nice. This isn't bleeding quite so much because this is where we pulled those lines out of, but don't worry about that right now. Okay, let that all do its thing. We're going to grab a little bit of, not a little bit, we're going to grab a whole bunch of sap green on our brush, and we're going to go across here like this, and again, just let that all bleed together. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of that, a little bit more intensely. Just let that all bleed together. Maybe put a little swipe of that down in here, but again, you're not going to do too much more to it than that. Okay, just let it bleed together. Don't worry about where it's going right now. Okay, I'm going to take this sap green and I'm going to add this in a few places to create some more pine trees for us. Okay, just like that. Okay, that's bleeding together really nicely there. That's turned out pretty much exactly how it was that I was thinking about it. If you want, you can take your brush, or I say brush, it doesn't have to be brush. You know, you can, I've sharpened the one end of my #1 round watercolor brush, but you could use a barbecue skewer, wooden toothpick, you know, whatever it is. I would suggest that you use something wooden. It usually turns out for the best if you use something wooden. All right, that's turned out pretty cool across there. I like this little puddle of green right here. I might put some scribe marks coming out of that too. All right, let's leave that all now. So we're going to take, this is all going to be yellow ochre across here. Okay, so I rinsed my brush out pretty good. I'm going to pick up a whole bunch of yellow ochre pretty intensely. And the idea is going to be that we do one brush stroke from one side to the other, okay? So just one continuous stroke, pick up as much paint as you can, and then just one stroke across. And you'll see that color starts to come down. Some of this color starting to go up. There's a little bit of white space across there. That's perfectly fine. We can just take our brush and go across there again. And that's all starting to bleed together famously, no problem. Looks great. All right, one last thing that we're gonna do here. We're gonna take a little bit of our sienna and we're just gonna drop it into a few places here, a few places there. Nice, that's pretty good. I like it. All right, and then you can always add a little bit. If you think there's other places that you need some, put a little bit more in. All right, salt time. I got a little bag of salt here, and I'm gonna put a couple of grains down here, a couple of grains up in here, and maybe just a few across there. Wherever you want a little bit of drama, add some salt. Okay, put a little bit more up here, I think. Nice. All right, look at those lines that come out of there. Those are pretty cool looking. All right, I think this is it. I think we need to let this dry now and see what we get. All right, let's have a look at this. The streaks in the sky that we put in there at the beginning with just a little bit of extraction, those turned out great. I love how those have all blended together. Our tree line here really has some good distance built into it, and that little bit of salt that we added into there, to me, these really look like pine trees. I love that effect. And then all of this color mixing that we have across here, you see there's still a little bit of salt on there. This is what the salt has done here. And then all this brush at the front here, that turned out great too. And when we put our mat on there, you see it's a pretty interesting little painting. And I want to thank you for watching today. I'd love to know where you're from. If you'd drop me a comment and let me know where you're from, I'd really appreciate it. And as always, if you're currently a subscriber, thanks a lot. And if you're not currently a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. If you're looking for any of the products that I use, they're all listed in the description, and there's links to Amazon there as well. So thanks a lot today, and we'll see you again real soon. A little bit of salt still on there.